Hi guys, welcome to the Whyte channel. WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury received an emotional reaction to one of his sketches addressed to IBF WBC WBO champion Alexander Usyk. A boxer from Ukraine was asked a question in an interview on the Behind the Gloves channel about the words of a Briton who claimed that Usyk allegedly awaited their fight for the absolute. Alexander says Tyson is lying. At least now I can fight with him on the street with my bare fists. In all the time I've been boxing, I've never been away from anyone at all. As you hear, a promoter of former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua said that his world believed in his victory in a rematch with WBA, WBO and IBF title holder Alexander Usyk. I think Anthony Joshua will announce a new coach when training camp starts. This is likely to happen over the coming weeks. Joshua is extremely motivated. He works very hard. I'm sure many people have seen that he is in great shape. Joshua is excited. He is what you want to see a fighter going into a fight in which he is obliged to win. I'm sure that he will make an announcement about his coaching staff soon. Joshua is ready for a huge fight. This is a huge fight. He deserves a lot of respect for coming out for a rematch right away, as he deserved when he agreed to the first fight. It's crazy when people say he probably should have dropped his belt. If you refuse the title, then you are a coward. You have avoided Alexander Usyk. Joshua doesn't avoid anyone. Now people should know about it. He really wants this fight. Joshua believes he can beat Usyk and become a three-time world heavyweight champion, as Hearn said in an interview. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. The World Heavyweight Champion in the WBA, WBO and IBF versions, Alexander Usyk, told how his life changed after winning titles. They began to recognize me more on the street, not even in Ukraine. It's clear that in Ukraine they recognize me. Grandmothers talk to me. They say that I need to beat someone. That is, they support me. But in other countries, wherever I went, more people began to recognize me. How has my life changed? I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. I still have extra belts. This is a great motivation for me as an athlete. I don't really think about belts at all. I'm thinking about how I'm going to box, train, the way I look. It's all a side effect of what you do. Money, fame, and the rest. These are all earthly goods. In fact, not so long ago, I began to think about other things. About the life value that are happening to us. This is health, close, loyal friends who are with you. This is the baggage with which it will not be easy for you, but it is not difficult either, because there are like-minded people. Money, fame, cars, all this can be earned in a very short period of time. But family, friends, loved ones are a lot of work. Alexander Usyk said in an interview. As you heard, the promoter of the mandatory challenger for the WBC heavyweight title Dillian Whyte believes that his world is able to defeat the current champion Tyson Fury ahead of time. I have been able to rely on Dillian Whyte for many years, and he has been able to rely on me. I want to see him with the world title. I believe Whyte can do it. I think Whyte can knock out Tyson Fury. I believe styles make fights. It's going to be a very tough fight. Fury is an outstanding heavyweight. It will be very difficult, but when you exchange left hooks with Dillian Whyte, you fall asleep. If Fury loses his guard for even a second in this fight, then this risk will appear in front of him. I believe Dillian is tough. We know what happened during the sparring of these guys. Whyte believes he has musculated Fury. Let's find out, Hearn said. On the 9th of September 25-26, boxing fans enjoyed the fight between Joshua and Usyk. The fight turned out to be fantastic, and the result was unexpected. Usyk declassified Briton, almost knocking him out in the last seconds of the 12th round. Alexander had a perfect fight. taking a bunch of belts from Anthony Joshua. Why did Joshua lose to Usyk? I want to talk a lot about Usyk's success, but first we need to find out why Joshua. I want to talk a lot about Usyk's success, but first we need to find out why Joshua. It was hard to watch most of the fight. Anthony didn't look like a champion. He did not understand how to resist the Ukrainian. Joshua was stronger only in 2 or 3 rounds. But before the fight, he was considered the obvious favorite. The advantage in size didn't help the Briton. Alexander confidently went under Anthony's long arms. Joshua's boxing skills failed. But he didn't show his character either. From the first rounds, Anthony looked sluggish. This was another Joshua who seeks to win at any cost. He was too phlegmatic, and he failed to shot at the right moment. In the last rounds, the coaches encouraged him as much as they could, but only Joshua was just trying to live up to the gong. The main trump cards of the Briton are knockout blow and excellent physical shape. These turned out to be enough for victories over Carlos Takam and Kubrat Pulev, who were limited in their arsenal, as well as over the again Vladimir Klitschko. But Usyk prepared fantastically for the fight and leveled all the strength of the Briton. Apparently, the hard knockdowns from the funny and fat-handed Rus were not accidental. Even Alexander Povetkin at the end of his career looked good against the champion. And now Usyk has proved that Joshua was wrong for a reason, and he has enough problems with stamina, tactics and character. Of course, Joshua should not be written off after this defeat. He is still a good boxer. Anthony is a man who only needs one punch to knock out an opponent. Anthony was striving hard to reach the top of boxing world. However, without luck and the cool work of the promoters, he might not have become a champion. Anthony often got comfortable opponents. In the fight with Klitschko, he was on the verge of defeat, but luck came to the rescue. It turns out that Joshua is far from the best boxer in the world, but just an average guy with excellent physical data. According to the skill level, Anthony should not have become the owner of several championship belts at once. Now is clearly not a time for Joshua to dominate the heavyweight division. Given the presence of guys like Tyson, Fury, Deontay Wilder and now Alexander Usyk in the weight category. Now the Ukrainian is a world champion in the versions WBA, WBO, IBF and IBO. But Joshua is a nice person, but not a great champion. When and where will the rematch take place? Before the first fight between Joshua and Usyk, it became known that in case of defeat, the Briton would have the opportunity to return his belt in a rematch. This clause was spelled out in the contract. The information was confirmed by the boxers and their promoters Hearn and Alexander Usyk. Joshua wants an immediate rematch. Anthony will be the underdog in the rematch after the defeat, but this is what he is ready for. Hearn said. The agreement was signed privately for not 1 but 2 fights. Joshua has the right to use the rematch option, and I will clarify that this is an immediate rematch. According to the contract, Usyk and Joshua cannot hold intermediate fights before the rematch, Usyk said. On the eve of the first match, Joshua dictated his terms. According to the contract, he received 80% of the fee, while Usyk received only 20%. It is not surprising that the fight took place in London, but now the champion is a Ukrainian, and therefore he can dictate his terms. Immediately after the victory, Alexander said that he wanted to hold the next fight at home, and the 70,000 stadium of Olympic in Kiev. Hearn seemed to make it clear that he was not against holding the fight in Ukraine, but at the same time say that for sure the second one will be in Britain. In the upcoming rematch, there is every reason to believe that Alexander will again be better in speed and endurance. For professional boxing, these are cosmic figures. Excellent technique, intelligence and speed make Usyk the favorite of the second meeting with Joshua. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.